Okay guys, so before we do anything else, and yes, we have to do a vlog today. Alright, daily vlog. That means a vlog every day. This is day 114. Before we do all that, I gotta close this garage door that I forgot to close. But I was sitting out here in the rain, and it was kind of enjoyable. It was nice because it was hot outside, and then it started raining, and it just cooled it off, and I was sitting out here in this garage, like so, just chilling with my feet up. You know what I'm saying? I love it out here. It's great. Yeah. All right, day 114. Let's do it. Okay, there's nothing that I like more than a good story about social classes and irony. So here's one for you now. Look, recently, you might or might not know, Prince Harry was married to Meghan Markle, all right? And look, the wedding cost a lot of money, all right? Let's see, the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will cost $2.7 million. That's 2 million pounds. A whopping 40.1 million, talking about dollars, will be dished out on keeping the betrothed and their guests safe. So let me give you the breakdown on everything that this wedding costs. All right, this is amazing. So food and beverages, $680,000. Glass marquee, $400,000. While the prince and soon-to-be duchess don't have to pay to rent out St. George's Chapel or the Great Hall, there are rumors that the royals are building a glass marquee for the reception. The construction and delivery could cost as much as $400,000. Dress, $270,000 for the wedding dress of the bride. Flowers, $130,000 for the flowers for this wedding. Other considerable expenses include entertainment. Who's paying for all this stuff? The royal family announced that it will pay for the core aspects of the wedding, which include church service, associated music, flowers, decorations, and the reception afterwards. Markle is reportedly expected to pay for her wedding dress herself. The cost of security, including snipers on the rooftops and counter UAV system, will top $40 million. It's expected to be borne largely by taxpayers. Now, in case you wondered, the average English police officer makes approximately $600 a week. So that's about $130 a day. You do the math. There's some money getting lost there somewhere. That's just not adding up. Okay? Anyways, so basically it's a very expensive wedding, and taxpayers are paying for most of it. That's the gist of that. So that's the first thing. You guys are gonna love this. Okay? This was a couple months before the wedding happened. This was in January of 2018, a few months before that wedding happened. Windsor Council leader calls for removal of homeless before royal wedding. The leader of the Royal Borough of Windsor, Maidenhead, home to Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle is where they got married. Eton College and Ascot Racecourse has demanded police use legal powers to clear the area of homeless people before the royal wedding in May. Simon Dudley, the council's conservative leader, wrote to Thames Valley Police this week seeking action against aggressive begging and intimidation. It's some action against this aggressive begging. Aggressive begging. What does aggressive begging look like anyway? I'm curious. Bags and detritus accumulating on the streets. The letter, seen by The Guardian, follows a series of tweets sent by Dudley while on a skiing holiday in Wyoming over Christmas, in which he referred to an epidemic of rough sleeping and vagrancy in Windsor and said residents have had enough of this exploitation of residents and 6 million tourists. He tweeted that he would write to the Thames Valley Police asking them to focus on dealing with this before the royal wedding. Hashtag royal wedding. So, flash forward a little bit later and, he gets his way. Police officers removed sleeping bags and belongings of homeless people living on the streets. This was March. This was in March. This is a couple months after he was making all those tweets to get that stuff taken care of before the royal wedding. So in March, just 2 months before the royal wedding, police officers removed sleeping bags, belongings of homeless people living on the streets outside Windsor Castle, but promised to return them after the royal wedding. Police have been seen clearing away sleeping bags and other possessions belonging to homeless people ahead of the royal wedding in a video obtained by Mail Online. The entire area around Windsor Castle is being placed on lockdown as anti-terror bollards are erected and heavy police presence moves in, ready for Saturday's nuptials between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Ahead of a dress rehearsal on Thursday, the Berkshire town is being swept for safety risks. However, while measures were taken to improve security, officers also moved rough sleepers. The police said today they were offering the homeless an opportunity to store their belongings until after the big day. We can't have these homeless people out here slumming up the place when we're going to have all these guests coming over for our $40 million wedding. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm laughing about it, but it's really not funny. Now, let's think about this for a second. We're talking about Windsor Castle here. The biggest house in the world, right? Windsor Castle. The biggest house in the world. Okay? I recently found out the biggest house in the world is Windsor Castle, located in England, Berkshire. The castle's floor area is approximately 484,000 square feet. The castle, after centuries of alteration, contains about 1,000 rooms and occupies 13 acres of land. Okay, look, why did I bring that up? I just think it's interesting that there's a few hundred homeless people, probably not even that many. There's probably less than 100 around that area, homeless people, cluttering up the area around here. They don't have a pot to pee in. They got nothing, right? And then you got just beyond, like a few feet, just several feet beyond these people. Here's this castle with 1,000 rooms, right? Probably most of them are empty, not being used, right? They're getting ready to have this giant $42 million wedding, right? And it's crazy because the amount of money that they spent on her dress would have took care of the entire homeless problem right there in Windsor. You know what I'm saying? It would have took care of the whole thing. They spent $270,000 on her wedding dress. $270,000. You could have gave all those homeless people like the weekend of their lives, right? You could have just set them all up to have the weekend of their lives, and that would have took care of the homeless problem. But instead, you called the police. You had to get the police involved. You have the police, rounded them all up, and who's paying for that? The taxpayers are paying for it. The taxpayers paid for the majority of your wedding. The taxpayers paid to have all the homeless people gathered up and cleared. It's just amazing to me. It's amazing to me. I find it quite interesting how a certain little small percentage of people live. And then you have this lower class, the bottom, man. They're at the freaking bottom, you know. These guys spent $270,000 on a wedding dress. Now, how many of you guys want to bet that wedding dress is probably worn one time for that wedding? It's probably never been worn again. It probably won't be worn again. It was worn one time earlier this month for the royal wedding, right? But for that event to happen, all these homeless people were gathered up, kicked out of where they were living at, which really wasn't anywhere. They were living on the streets, but they took away their sleeping bags, they took away their books, they took away everything from them just to get them out of here. For what, man? For what? Just to make the place look nice for the guests? It's just amazing to me, man. I find it interesting. So many problems of this world seem like they could be solved if we focused a little bit less on ourselves and a little bit more on other people. I mean, these guys, they were worried about the homeless problem around the castle in January. The royal wedding was in May. I mean, why not dedicate $100,000 of those funds just to providing a good experience for those homeless people? Hey, why not invite those homeless people into the wedding? Why not? Man, you got 15 acres. Invite them in and feed them, man. Feed them. That'll make you look really good. Invite them in and feed them, you know. That'll make you look, it'll probably be the best wedding experience that's ever happened. It'd probably be one of the best things, most memorable things that would have ever happened if you would have done that. The headline around the world wouldn't be, look at these rich fools spending $42 million on their wedding and most of it's taxpayer money. No. Instead, the headline would have been wow, Prince Harry and Markle are awesome. They fed all the homeless people. They invited them into their wedding and they fed them and showed them a good time. These guys rock. That would have been the headline. So it's almost like, why don't we just take care of each other a little bit more as human beings? You know what I'm saying? So inside these walls, you got extravagant, crazy amounts of money being spent. Outside these walls, these people have nothing, right? Inside these walls, you got someone spending $270,000 on a dress. Outside these walls, these people can't even keep their sleeping bags. They're being taken away by the cops. I don't know. I just find it really interesting. Does anybody else find this just bizarre? Like, you can't even make this stuff up. It's stranger than fiction. Does anyone else out there see this as just being like the weirdest thing? Isn't it wild? You guys let me know in the comment section what you think. Maybe I'm way off base. Maybe rich people deserve what they have. Maybe they've worked really hard for everything they have and they deserve what they have. Maybe there's poor people out there who don't have a home and don't have anything. They just have sleeping bags. Maybe they deserve that. Maybe they don't try hard enough. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they're not motivated enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I guess I just kind of feel like, sometimes people fall on bad times. Sometimes people fall on bad luck. And everyone has messed up. You know what I'm saying? I have a little picture on my wall that I hang above my bed, and it says something like to the effect of, your kids make mistakes. They do this, they do this, they do this, and they are not perfect, just like you. And it's just meant to be like a reminder that, I'm not perfect, So when my kids mess up, which they do often, it just kind of reminds me that, hey, I mess up too often. So, I think that we as parents, we sometimes put our kids, we hold them to some kind of crazy high standard that we don't really maintain ourselves. And this gets us into trouble as parents because it kind of makes us hypocrites. You know what I mean? So, it's like a spider over there. But, yeah, so it's funny, and I don't mean to get off topic, but I guess I just think that, maybe people are a little bit hard on homeless people sometimes. That's what I think. And I think that when we find ourselves in such good positions, when we find ourselves doing so well in life that we could spend $270,000 on a dress, I mean, it seems like that's a lot of money. It seems like you should be able to take care of the homeless problem right outside your door when their main problem is money. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear your opinions on this interesting juxtaposition. Peace, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.